If the system won't fix me, I'll fix myself, even if it kills me. This is a far cry from a new sentiment, but it's having a new moment. From Reddit threads to garage labs, young people are turning their bodies into testing grounds. From unregulated hormones, underground nootropics, and even DIY gene editing. And beneath the buzzwords like optimization and self-mastery and biohacking, there's a quieter story about control and rebellion and pain. So what is biohacking? Let's define our terms. Biohacking can range from cold plunges and intermittent fasting, to DIY CRISPR kits and gene editing, all the way to ordering SARMs or peptides online from an unvetted lab across the ocean. At its best, biohacking can be grassroots innovation. It's curiosity and system design and feedback loops. But at its worst, it's untreated distress dressed up as some improvement. As an engineer, I admire the mindset. Don't wait for permission. Build the system that you wish existed. Take initiative and build a solution for the gap that you see in your world. I love it. Perhaps you believe that as an adult, you can educate yourself well enough to make informed decisions on these matters, and that you should have every right to do with your body as you see fit, because you know yourself best. And to that I say, fair enough. But as a fellow human who cares about you, I want to ask gently, is the system you're building actually safe for you, or are you just building a better cage? So what drives us here? Biohacking is more than just biochemistry. It's biography. A lot of us, consciously or not, are wrestling with a world that feels untrustworthy, bureaucratic, weak, and hypocritical. We've lost faith in the medical system, in schools, in therapy. A lot of us were told to just work hard, to get help, to be vulnerable. And for many of us, that didn't work. So instead, we turn to systems that we can control. Inputs, outputs, dosages, data. You become your own test subject. You track your sleep, track your macros, track your calories, track your exercise. You engineer your own value. I'm guilty of thinking this way too. If no one's coming to save me, I'll run my own lab. And it's tricky because on the one hand, it's inspiring in its agency. But on the other hand, it's like a slow death mission that's cloaked in spreadsheets. So where's the line between innovation and self-destruction? So here's where the debate starts. The first argument is my body, my choice. If I want to take risks with my health, that's my freedom. And that's great. The autonomy is powerful. But the weakness in this argument is that biology doesn't respect your ego. Just because you want control doesn't mean your organs are on board. Engineering teaches us that tampering with complex systems without understanding all the variables usually leads to failure modes. And sometimes they're quiet, but sometimes fatal. There are a lot of concepts from global engineering that we can abstract away for these purposes. In global engineering, we're concerned with how to meet the needs of people who live in places that are completely foreign to us, that we have no connection to. So we talk a lot about how to limit our biases and generate solutions for people who we have no hope of properly understanding. Take the example of a community immediately post-tsunami. They have no electricity, no access to clean drinking water, no services available to them. How can we possibly understand every variable affecting them? And how can we propose critical solutions with any certainty? It would be naive to be completely confident in any of our solutions here, because we don't even understand the essence of the boundary of the problem. The same thing applies to you. You are not exempt from system limits just because you're angry at the system. The second argument goes something along the lines of, doctors are corrupt, pharma lies, therefore I'll be my own healer. And yes, medicine has its flaws, but rebellion without expertise becomes chaos. I get it. I know what it's like to not be taken seriously by a doctor. But there's a difference between rejecting bad systems and rejecting all systems. I see biohacking in a similar light. I'm not a doctor, nor am I an expert in every neural connection in my brain or every hormonal interaction in my body. I don't know the boundaries of these systems. Furthermore, I am the most biased person to be making decisions here. I have more at stake when it comes to the functionality of my body than anyone else. I can recognize the limits of a 10-minute conversation with my primary care physician without completely rejecting their knowledge and expertise, and by extension, the medical system in general. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do isn't to completely bow out of a system, to start injecting yourself with unregulated compounds. It's to stay in relationship with something imperfect, to improve it from the inside, to persist without burning it all down. not throwing the proverbial baby out with the bathwater. The third argument is something along the lines of, this is evolution. Progress normally starts in places like basements. Fair point. Most innovation starts with the curious and the obsessed and the desperate. But ethical design, real innovation, has to ask, who will be hurt? Who will be left behind? What failure modes are we ignoring? And how do we prevent something like this from happening again? In engineering, we build redundancy, and in ethics, we build accountability. And I think for things like this, we really do need both. But what's at the core of biohacking? What are we not saying? Here's what I think most biohackers aren't saying out loud. I don't feel useful. I don't feel strong. I don't trust anyone enough to be vulnerable. But if I can't feel loved, maybe I can feel optimized. It's heartbreaking and it's human. And I think biohacking is often a cry for connection disguised as control. So here are my takeaways. Feel free to choose the lens that is most meaningful for you right now. Through the systems lens, you are a system of systems. Nothing about you exists in isolation. Nothing. Don't modify one component without understanding the others. What looks like an upgrade might just shift the problem downstream. Through the ethical lens, freedom without responsibility is just chaos in a lab coat. Yes, challenge institutions, especially the ones that aren't serving you. I'm fully on board. But don't become the danger you were trying to escape. And finally, through what I'm going to call the tender lens, strength isn't in rejecting help. It's in being strong enough to stay in relationship with the parts of you that are human and fragile and unfinished. So, in closing, if hacking your body was the only way you knew how to feel free, you were never the problem. The system was. But freedom isn't just about control. It's about being whole. But maybe, just maybe, the biggest rebellion isn't in engineering your own biology. It's in letting yourself be loved without optimization.